This is the Book Deal Podcast,
where you will discover the inspiring stories behind your favourite books.
We interview seasoned and debut authors, as well as publishing industry professionals, to bring you the best tips and advice on how to get that elusive book deal.
So no matter what stage of writing you're at, we've got you covered. I'm Tina Strachan.
I'm Madeleine Cleary.
And I'm Natasha Rai.
And join us as we pull back the curtain of published authors,
one deal at a time. The Book Deal Podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land and waters which it's recorded on, and pays respect to their elders past, present, and emerging.
So, everyone, with that exciting intro, Tina, Madeleine, and I, Natasha, are going to be together in person to record a very special Christmas episode of The Book Deal. We are going to be together in Sydney on the 25th of November at 6 p.m.
And we're so excited because Hayley Scrivenor, bestselling Australian author, is going to be with us on stage. And she's going to be our resident agony aunt for the episode. And we have a way for you to submit anonymous questions. So if you go to our show notes or our Instagram bio, you'll be able to submit anything you want to ask on stage. No question is too outlandish, so go for it.
And not only that, if that's not as exciting enough, we have a huge signed debut book bonanza to give away to somebody in the audience. There will be 20 books by debut authors, all signed, and they could all be yours if you come along on the night.
Exactly. So to get tickets, visit our Instagram page, check out the link in the show notes, or through the Writing New South Wales website. Hope to see you there.
See you there.
Bye.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi there, Tash.
Hello. We're just laughing because we had to start that again.
My microphone wasn't plugged in, so yes. My apologies. But we only did 2 minutes. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I'll start.
Yeah. So what we were talking about is how we started was about being tired and having a lot on our plates. And right now that's changed a little bit for you, Mads. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because I went through a pretty low period, I think September, October. Like I was pretty exhausted. I think it was coinciding with trying to finish book 2 manuscript, really busy in my personal life, and then also lots of events. And I had my last event in Ballarat a few weeks ago, and then we took the weekend off in Ballarat. I've been getting back into my reading. We've had 2 weekends in a row now of just pottering. I submitted my manuscript, and I was saying earlier that I'm the type of person that normally would just jump immediately into my next writing project, but this time I've deliberately just stopped and just picked up reading again. And this afternoon I had a nap. And it was really lovely. And Tina's looking at me like, oh.
I feel like if you can have a nap,
yes.
That's the epitome of a relaxing day. Or just that you've had a relax. Yeah, if you can fit that in.
And I think because the weather's been so last weekend we had a really nice weekend and I could just potter around in the garden. This weekend it's been raining constantly in Melbourne and cold. And so yesterday I just sat by the fire with a book and it was the most dreamiest day ever. I was so relaxed and I feel better. I feel 100% for it. So yeah, I don't know if there's a top tip in that.
Well, I mean, I'm curious about what supported you to try that something new. You said the old you would have jumped into a project. So what was different this time?
I took your advice, Tash. So someone
that was
said
not a leading question, by the way. I genuinely didn't know.
I think everyone should just listen to whatever Natasha Rai says. That's my philosophy in life.
That's her top tip.
That's my top tip. Well, someone said to me last weekend, I was out for dinner with some friends and we were talking about self-care. And my friend, she said, because my friend, she's really good at self-care. And I said that. And she said the way she perceives self-care is she romanticizes her life. So,
Oh,
Oh,
so even if it's as simple as like getting into a fresh pair of pajamas after a long hot shower, and getting into a comfy bed and with a
mhm,
book. Like
mhm,
that sounds, it's romanticizing your,
mm,
the way you
mm,
live. And so I took that to heart. And then I remember, Tash, you always say, like, after you had a really busy festival, I think it wasn't Blue Mountains, it was Kafta Canberra. You said you just wanted to spend the day in bed reading your book and just recovering from that. And I was like, oh, that's good. That's self-awareness when
mm.
you need that time. And so I've taken that on and thought, okay, sitting by the fire today is a good day to just read and relax. So I've taken on your, I think,
Nice.
example, Tash.
I like that.
I love that. And I love the pottering, Madeline.
Mm.
I have to agree with you. I don't potter much and not enough, but when I do get the chance to potter for whatever reason, if I've found like a, I don't know, spare hour or something, I don't know, there's something about it. Even if you're cleaning the house,
Yes.
there's just something about it. It's the act of the pottering, of the cleaning, of the getting the stuff done or starting something. I think that just is, well, for me anyway, helps to clear my mind, and
Mm,
it almost feels a little bit indulgent in a way to have time to potter.
mm.
Like your friend was saying, like being in bed and romanticizing it. It's about kind of being a little bit indulgent. Hey, rewarding yourself. I
Yeah.
love that.
And but you're in a very different place to that, aren't you, Tina? Having
Yes,
said all that,
there's
yes.
no pottering or
Yeah.
No
romanticizing at
naps.
the
Yeah.
moment. It depends on what your idea of romance is. If it's being like completely hectic and running at a million miles an hour, that's where I am. But that's a little, yeah, that's life. Hey, there's lots of stuff going on. It's such a busy time of year. There's,
Mm,
social things and things being booked into the calendar and sporting events. And I've got kids, so there's like a billion kids things going on. And of course, work, with everyone's work, it all just kind of culminates at the end of the
mm,
year. And when it comes to writing, like I've have some imposed and some self-imposed deadlines at the moment. But I do get into a little bit of a hyper focus state, and
yeah. And you've also got a writing festival coming up, don't you?
I have a writing festival coming up, yes, in a couple of weeks. It's called the Future Writers Festival. It's run by the Byron Bay Writers Festival crew. It's the first one that they've done, and it's for school kids in the area. So it's all school-age children. And that's going to be really fun to go and talk to them about. So my presentation is going to be very much, if you can't be what you can't see, and they're young kids, and the importance is showing them how you can become a writer and you can become successful at whatever you really enjoy doing. So I'm very much going to talk about and show them I've got all these like letters and all my stories that I used to write when I was younger, and just show them all them and show them, it's the feedback that I got from my teachers and stuff like that. And and now look at me now, I'm a published author. But as an 8-year-old, I was writing at home, and you can, if you dream it and believe it, then you can be it, is the moral of the
I
story.
love that. That is so cool.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. So so that's going to be my first festival as like a speaking author, which is very exciting.
Yay.
Yeah, very exciting. So I'm keen to pick your brains on some tips and advice, because you both have been doing lots of festivals. Tash, literally you were at one last weekend.
Mm. Yeah,
Two
I've been
weekends, I
really,
You've
think, in
been
a
yeah,
row,
busy.
isn't it?
I've been very fortunate because it's not usual for a debut author to be invited to so many festivals. So I have definitely been very fortunate to have had so many. Yeah, I'm very, very happy. Very happy.
Mhm.
Can I ask then, Tash, because I mean, I've heard, and it is very common for particularly debut writers not to be invited because, like I guess we're kind of untested and untried.
Mhm.
Did you pitch yourself to these festivals? Like, how did you get these invites?
Some of it was I pitched, some of it my publisher pitched, and some of it was wonderful, wonderful industry citizens, which was Kate Mildenhall's term for it, who basically connected me up with like a festival director or a festival programmer, But and initially I was really scared, like, this idea of you shouldn't pitch yourself if your publisher's pitching you, because that's all. Don't worry about that. If you want to pitch yourself to a festival, just do it. And like, who cares? Like, the worst that's going to happen is they're going to see your name twice. Like, big deal. That's not going to be enough reason for them to go. Absolutely not. So that's what I've learned this year from that. And also another, I'm just going to chuck in some tips here about festivals
Yes,
if anyone
please.
is interested. It's also, if you have the confidence, or you feel like you want to try and you think you might be good at it, moderating, like pitching yourself to moderate or to host a panel. And if you're too nervous to just pitch yourself as a moderator, just generally, you can even pitch yourself and somebody else. I think, Mads, you did that for a few of your events. You pitched you and say, because I know you did a couple with Marion Taft, and you.
Oh, yes, I did a library event with Marion.
But you can do that for
that.
festivals too. You can say that, here's a theme, or here's something I can do with this other author, and do it that way. If you feel too nervous to be like a solo, I can moderate anyone, so to speak. Yeah.
I haven't pitched myself for any festivals yet, so this is good. I didn't know you could do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, like, not obviously, but the really big ones like Sydney, Melbourne, you can't. And if you look at the smaller, like the mid ones, it'll be very clear on their websites whether they accept pitches from authors. If they do, just pitch yourself.
So are you saying, Tash, when you do pitch yourself, so firstly you're saying, because your publisher or your publicist, normally they put you forward for a festival, especially these bigger ones, they have particular times where they have meetings with them.
But on that, Tina, there's a very specific way publishers pitch to festivals. So what they tend to do is they tend to have their headlining writers up front, and they will have full bios and full everything, and they'll be really showcased. And then they have the others. So they'll have like a few pages of just like headshot and a bit of bio and the book. So if you're one of the authors that gets onto that list, you may get
the
picked
other
up.
list.
Yeah, well, I mean, you may get picked up if a festival director is really diligent, is going through all of them, or knows your book in advance. But chances are, if you're not part of the main pitch, you're probably not going to get picked up.
Yeah. And I mean, they have a lot of authors, right?
Yes, exactly.
So there's a lot. They just can't book everyone.
Yeah.
But so you were saying, because sometimes you don't know what your publisher's going to do, and obviously you can always ask, but you can just go ahead and pitch yourself, like you were saying, if there's a chance, and not worrying if there's that double up.
No. And you make it as easy for them as possible. So you obviously tell them things like what you can talk about. If you are somebody who wants to teach workshops, that's always a really good thing to add into, because a lot of festivals have workshops attached to them as a bonus. So and then you can so you pitch what you can talk about, what you're comfortable talking about. You pitch if you've got a workshop idea, and then if you're willing to moderate or chair, you can also put that in your pitch.
Okay, yep. So you specifically say, I also love moderating and things like that. And also, hot tip for children's authors, and probably adults as well, depending on about your audience, right, including what your proposed themes, and so workshops or talk, how that can align with curriculum. And
that's
for the
a good
schools, because the schools are trying to actively align. They don't want to waste time on things, not that it'll be wasted, but they want to see how it fits in with what they're doing now. And you can do that. You can look up the curriculum easily online. And it probably helps for all school talk pitches, and even pitching to libraries. Just look at what your audience age group, or if you have a workshop or a particular presentation that you want to do, if you've got a particular age that that's aimed at, have a look how that aligns with the curriculum. You can just Google it, and you can usually find enough information there to align it, which helps the teachers as well.
That's a great idea. And quite a few festivals have a specific schools program as part of the festival, so that has good opportunity for
Do you think there's a lot of jealousy around authors when they get festivals, and when others feel like because I feel like that's a palpable emotion, isn't it, around festivals?
So I've had authors who shall remain unnamed, who tell me things like, oh, well, I never get invited to anything.
Mm.
And
Well,
there's
with
also
that attitude.
there's also a perception about what you write, which I don't know. Like I don't know if it's fair or not, because like if you write commercial, or I don't know really what I'm not invited, because the festivals I've been to, because I love going to festivals as a reader. So going as a writer has just been a wonderful thing, but I've always loved going to festivals, and I personally haven't ever noticed a bias. I mean, there is a bias towards literary fiction, yes, probably. Having said that, there's lots of festivals that I've seen around crime and it's historical fiction.
Mm.
Yeah, it
And they
seems to
normally have a
cover.
theme every year. And so they're
Yes,
trying to fit the theme. And when you look at the program and what the handful of authors that they have up and they invite, it's really not a lot of spaces. It's like everything else, isn't it?
I also
yeah,
think it's also though great that they can promote like literary fiction, because I think we all know that literary fiction tends to sell less in comparison to commercials. So it's great that we can get, literary fiction writers
hmm,
out
hmm.
talking with readers, talking about their themes.
Mm.
Yeah. And the other thing that happens is festival directors go to each other's festivals. So if
Mm.
you get invited to one and you do a good job, like people, like they tell each other that kind of stuff.
So
So
this happened to me actually, because I was at
that's right. Yes.
literary festival, and after the talk, someone came up to me and said, "Oh, I'm here from like another festival. I want to invite you to ours in next year. Like, can I, would you be interested?" And I was like, "Oh, so that's interesting. Like that people." She's like, "Yeah, my job is to go around to all the festivals, attend them, and scope out like
How do
people."
you get that job? That's
I
cool.
I think it's a volunteer job.
Uh, I'd still do it for free.
I know, how fun is that? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super, super cool. And I think like I've done one really big one and several smaller ones. And I really love the smaller
Me too.
festivals. They're
Mm,
cool and you're all
mm.
together, and yeah, you get to know people. I think it's very personal. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that the bigger festivals are not that. Like they're really amazing too, but yeah, it's
It's
something
just
really special about
different.
it.
And I think as
Mm,
well, with the smaller festivals, you just get more of the community showing up because it's all in one place,
Mm.
or it's over like a short period of time. Like Sydney goes for like a whole week. I think
Mm.
Melbourne goes for a few days, and Brisbane. Um, so yeah, I've really loved that, because then you actually get to talk to the readers and the people who come.
yes.
I had the most amazing conversations last weekend, because I went to a lot of other writers' panels, because that's my favorite thing to do. Like I wanted to ditch my own to go to one, because there was all these good ones all at one go. And I just was having the most beautiful conversations with people in the audience around, the themes and what they were thinking about. And yeah, I just love that. Just such a lovely air of, I don't know, community and chatting, and yeah.
It's the community, I think, that part. And this is the first time we've had a festival up in my area in the Dandenong Ranges. And there was one panel, which, yeah, because I was attending the other panels as well. And the moderator asked, "Oh, who's like local?" And the room, like fifth, five, probably like three, more than three quarters put up their hand, said they're local to the. And so these are people who don't necessarily always have riders around them, because, we live kind of far out and you
Mm,
don't want to travel into the city and stuff. So this can be their first exposure to writers. And a lot of them are readers, they're not necessarily writers, but
mm.
how wonderful for the community to come together to listen to, interesting themes and panels and discussions. Like I could see the ideas, you could feel the ideas buzzing around, which
Mm.
is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So then, Tina, like, what do you have to do to prepare, and like how are you managing
Mm.
it all? Because
For the festival coming up.
yeah, because I know you're always busy, and we've talked a little bit about time and how you do
Yeah,
it.
and whether we prep for festivals, that's a good
Yeah,
question.
Mm.
yeah.
Mm. I think once you've done a few presentations, though, on the same similar themes, it does get easier, right? Doesn't it? I think there's a lot of work leading up to your first, when you're testing out a new workshop or a new presentation or like a talk. And then when you do it a couple of times, you know what works and what doesn't work. I think it probably constantly changes, and for each one you sort of tweak it a bit for your audience. So I have done like a similar. It's kind of an extension. So what I'm going to do is an extension of a bit of a presentation that I've done for school kids before, but just really focusing more on that, writing as a child, and where you can get your ideas and your thoughts and things from stories when you're young. And so there's still a little bit of prep there, especially in the lead up to it. And I mean, on the day, there's lots of practical ways of prepping, right? Just making sure you've got all your stuff. I've got my tub with all my different leads and chords and printouts. Someone, I can't remember who it was, I think it might have been Megan Daly from Your Kids Next Read. She says to even print out hard copies of your slides, because there are times sometimes when just for some reason there's no power at all and you have no your screen or anything like that, if you're relying on a screen for your presentation. So you're just going to roll with it and just expect all the worst things. And I've got my little box with everything in it. But then I think mentally prepping is a big thing as well. I mean, we've been talking about it the last few weeks as well, because it's very hard at festivals and that, when there's a lot of socializing, and you want to be on your game for when you do have your talks and things. So it's a few things like hard, not just talking yourself out, so you've lost that your social battery's just completely done. Staying out too late, maybe having a few too many drinks the night before. you want to be nice and clear-headed on the day. Hey, and I just like to I like to run things through in my mind and almost completely like do the talk 100% in my mind, and so that when I get there, I feel like I've already done it. That actually reminds me of a conversation. I always bring this one up with Jane Tara. She was the one who was saying something very similar, wasn't she? But she was talking about it as in like, something she had really bad stage fright, or like she wasn't very good on stage. She just used to get super nervous about it, and so she used to literally just play it all out in her mind, like sit down. I think she'd sort of meditate around it even, and play the whole thing out in her mind, so that when she got there, she felt like she'd already done it. It was kind of done. There's another tip if you're nervous. Yeah.
I was talking with Holly Brumbaugh, actually, another podcast interviewee, because Holly interviewed me in Ballarat a few weeks ago, and we were talking about being anxious before events, and because Holly, I think she said on the podcast how she literally vomited before her first ever podcast interview, because she was so nervous. And Holly is a former teacher. I'm sure Holly won't mind me, talking about her and stealing her story, but she's, a very confident person. But it doesn't matter what experience you have. It's still very much anxiety inducing, I think, fronting this. And I think that's something we kind of underestimate a bit for writers. And I said to her now, I'm like, oh, how do you feel now, like getting in front of an audience? And she's like, I don't get nervous at all. Not one bit. She's like, the nerves have completely gone.
Oh, wow.
Said, well, what's the difference? And she said, just practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. It's just getting up there and practicing. So anything you can do, I suppose, in advance before the real thing comes.
Mm-hmm.
If you do mock interviews with your other writing friends, and record it as well, like have the recording going, I think. Like, don't just do it in a coffee shop, but get on, practice like you would doing a podcast, log on to Zoom. I think, do 5, 6, 7, as many to make you feel comfortable, and not necessarily rehearsed, but just comfortable.
Yeah. We used to do, I work in a job that's quite technical, and I have to present a lot of technical information sometimes, and in front of some very high profile people, that sometimes like to just really ask all the tricky questions when you're up presenting in front of them, which is also live streamed for anyone who wants to watch it, to watch you sweating up there. And we used to always go through a little process beforehand of like I'd be there, I'd do my presentation to my colleagues, and they would just throw the worst questions possible at me that I could possibly get when I was up there, so that you just like, and it could be anything. Which does a few things. One, it kind of prepares you and for what you might need to know, and also the worst of the worst that could possibly come at you. And just also helps you to realize that, if you don't have all the answers all the time, and it doesn't matter, and nothing's really that bad. No one's really going to ask for anything that horrifying, and it's everything's going to
Have
be
either
okay.
of you been asked a question that's really thrown you? Or
Yes.
like yeah? Can you
Yeah.
talk about it?
Yeah. Somebody asked me about my mother.
Oh,
It was an audience question, and it was, I think, my second festival. It really threw me. And at the time, I kind of fumbled around a bit, and my lovely chair of that panel got me out of it because she kind of intervened quite quickly. But now I feel much more equipped because I realize that sometimes people, I think this comes back to when, like, if you follow someone on Instagram, or like, if you like, I know I'm guilty of this too. Like, if you see someone a lot on social media, or you've seen their book around, you might feel like you know them.
Mm-hmm.
And especially at a smaller festival, like, there's a sense of community, there's a sense of, because you come off the stage and it's not like some big concert where you're whipped off. Like, you literally walk out and talk to people and you're mingling with them. So, and of course, we aren't celebrities, we're just normal people who wrote books. So there is a sense of that, oh, I feel like I know you. And I think it comes from that rather than, and it could come from something nasty, but I think that was more around feeling that she knew something or felt like she was close. And so I've just decided to take it as that and go with that. Yeah, but that
That's
was tricky.
yeah.
Mm.
yeah. And I guess, sometimes those questions get thrown at you. I guess that's the
Mm.
lesson to take away. But you will get through it, and you'll
Mm.
Yeah.
move past it.
And I think what helps me is the idea that most people have come because, as you said earlier, that people just love reading. They're readers and they want to know more about the book and maybe the process behind it. And what helps me is leaning into all of that. So when I get up on stage, I do get there's adrenaline, right? So my hands are a bit shaky, my voice is a bit shaky. I don't pretend that that's not happening, because that helps me. I'm not saying everyone should do that. It helps me to go, yeah, this is a weird situation. I'm in front of a bunch of people talking about something that's really personal and special to me. So of course I'm going to be nervous. That's cool.
Hmm.
And then once I get up there, what helps me is finding the ground, the floor underneath my feet as my little anchor, and my spine against the chair. And then I find ideally someone I know in the audience, and I go to them if I just to look at, or if not them, there'll always be one or two people who are nodding and smiling. Finding them and keep going back to them for the eye contact and the little kind of connection, that always helps me.
Maybe you have a hot tip for a really big audience, though.
Yeah. Oh,
If
yeah,
you do
yeah.
get
Go on.
nervous.
Go on.
Because I used to present, I worked in some very big zoos where we had thousands of people coming, and I'd be this one little person with this little mic in my little zoo uniform, and very young, and it was petrifying. But I found that, because you're supposed to obviously address them and look out to them, but I would actually look through them. So I look like I'm looking at them, but I'm looking at the chair, or I'm looking at the tree behind them, or I'm looking at something else. But I'm still like, it probably looks like I'm making eye contact, but because that's going to wig me out, because there's so many eyes looking at me, I just actually look through them. So
Yeah.
I don't know if
That's another great tip, actually, because sometimes I find if I can see outside, like a tree or nature, that helps me too as a little anchor.
I would
Yep.
recommend not having your mum in the audience, like, ever. Please. Because the only times I've been thrown is when I look at my mum's face. And I've told mum won't mind me sharing this, I'm sure. She now, if she does come to my events, she sits at the back and makes sure there's someone in between, because I'm like, Mum, every time I look at you, she has this expression on her face of like quizzical confusion.
Who
Like,
is this
what I'm
woman up
saying.
here?
And I get thrown, totally thrown. Like one time, she came to one of my library events, and she mustn't have been listening or heard the question properly. Someone asked me, "Oh, were you a big reader when you were young?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I can ask my mum. Mum, was I a big reader?" And she just like stopped and paused and was like, "Oh," like she was like wondering whether I was or not. And I'm like, I've lost all credibility in this audience. Like,
Does
So
she know that she's doing the quizzical confusion though?
now, because I told her, I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
Mum, the face. She's like, I'm not pulling a face. She's like, no, I'm really interested in what you're saying. I'm like, well, you're not smiling at me or nodding. Like smiling and nodding would be good. So now she has to sit at the back. Poor Julie.
You've made Julie go to the back.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a hot tip I need to take on for myself with my mum, because can I tell you a story
Yes.
about my mum? Love her, but like this one event, I did some library events, right, for kids over the school holidays. Are really fun, really good groups. We did lots of animal stuff, wildlife stuff, read the book, all that sort of thing. Anyway, but I had about three. I think I had three in a day, and I don't know why. I also thought that it would be good and okay if I took my two children plus my niece and nephew with me. Like what?
Oh,
Like I
gosh.
just anyway, they were really good, but my mum. She, in this one particular one, she had just decided that she'd pop off down the cafe and just get herself some food. And so she came back, and I had like a board behind me that I had like stuck some stuff on. So I was showing the kids, and the kids were coming up and doing things. But to start off, and like things were a bit quiet, to start off, and we're just having a chat. And she's behind the board, like with her brown paper bag with her like quiche or something in it, like crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. And like you can see her feet. I think she thought she was like completely hidden, but her feet are like poking out under the board. And all you can hear is like this crinkle, crinkle, crinkle as she eats her quiche, which was extremely distracting. And I couldn't like make eyes at her or anything. I could just see her feet under the thing. Yeah, that was fun. That was also the same one where my son almost like jumped over this cushion and into a chair and like had a massive, almost knocked himself out. It was really fun. It was really fun. Anyway,
that is the best story. I
Tash-
just love the feet, and Tash is trying to like contain herself, like she's losing it.
I think she just thought she was in this little, cafe bit behind me. Just was like, anyway.
I just love that in her corner, the quiche.
Eating a quiche.
Eating a quiche. Like, so she was essentially at the front of the room. Like, where everyone
Why
could see
did
her
she just eat it
feet.
in the cafe? Why did she bring it back? Like,
Oh my God. That's the best mum story. My mum only
Yeah.
came to one event, and she was so nervous for me. I don't know, it must be a theme in my life of people being more nervous for me than I'm for myself. She comes rushing up to me at the end, going, "That was really good. Where's the toilet?" I'm like, "Oh." And then that was it. I didn't see her again. She just disappeared. She went home to go to the toilet.
and I love though that she stayed for the whole thing. She was obviously busting to go, but she's like, I cannot.
I cannot leave. I have to stay. Oh my gosh.
Number
Yeah.
ones or number twos?
I think it was a number 2. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. Sorry, Mum. She doesn't listen to the podcast. It's all fine.
No wonder she needed to rush off, poor love. Yeah.
I think the lesson from this, the top tip, is just don't bring your family to the events. Like, just leave them at home, maybe. Maybe that is the top tip.
Yeah,
Consider who you know in the audience.
exactly.
My
Maybe-
mum has been amazing. And I know, like, I say all this, but she's I reckon she's been to 5 or 6 events now and listened to the same stories. So,
Oh, why wouldn't she? She must be so proud sitting
I
back and
know.
watching you.
well,
makes
I mean, she's also very proud of all of you guys as well. So she's got the
Aw.
shrine, the books. Oh, actually,
The
I want
book
to tell a
shrine.
story. This is a really nice story. Today I was out with Mum and my mum's best friend Karen, who's like a second mum to me, and Karen is a big fan of the podcast. Like because I was at dinner with her tonight, and I said I've got to go record the podcast. She's like, when's it going to come out? And I'm like, oh, Thursday. So she's like, I'm so excited. So she lives in Brisbane, and she came to Tina's launch with all her grandchildren. And so one of her grandchildren, Tilly, she finished the first book, Tina, Nika and the Missing Key.
Oh, bless.
And she said to her grandma, she's like, this is my favorite book ever.
Oh,
She loves animals. Her favorite animal is the elephant. And Karen's going to go back to Brisbane and buy her the second book.
Oh, bless
Loves
her.
it so much. So
Love
there
you,
you go.
Karen. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Tilly. Oh,
Yeah.
bless.
Isn't that so sweet?
So
You've got
sweet.
a
So
big
sweet.
fan.
Oh, love it. That's so cute. Oh, love the super fans.
Yeah. So we'll say hi, Karen. Hi, Karen. She'll be very pleased.
So, just looking at the time, in terms of, because we've talked a little bit about burnout, we've talked about a little time management, etc. Have you got any tips for that? Because we've talked a lot recently, especially in our chats, about time and managing.
You know what I'd be interested in? Like, what's the day in a life? What does the day in your average life look like? Like, what do you do? How do you balance everything? I don't know. I'm just thinking that the other day. I'm like, I want to know what your day looks like.
What does your day look like?
Okay, so quickly. So
Yes.
as soon as I wake up, I exercise. Then I log on to work like probably like 8 till 4:30. Like when I like finishing early. And then I do admin, book admin stuff, like check my emails, do any podcast stuff from 4:30 till probably like 6, cook and prep dinner. That's usually done by 7. And then I have writing time till about 9, 9:30. And then I read and then go to bed. Like that's my average day. And I know that's going to look different to everyone else's day. Like that's how I fit it in. Because I'm not sure, but do people always say to you, how do you fit it all in? But I'm like, well, I have a job that's not stressful. And I think that's the only thing that's
And it's flexible too, hey? Like there's a lot of
flexible
jobs where
work from
they
home.
have to be there, like, gym instructors and builders and stuff. Like you can't, you have to be there. And just the travel to work and the being present in an office and stuff is such a huge chunk of your day that you
Huge
can't.
chunk. Yes, I don't have like the commute. Well, I commute one day a week, and I'll do my admin on the train, and I'll do my writing. I'll skip probably the exercise in the morning, and then do writing on the train in the morning, admin at night on the way home. So that's how I kind of fit it all in.
Yeah.
What about you, Tash? What does your
So I have two types of average days. So for me, usually get up and I too exercise first thing in the morning, because if I don't do it, then I won't do it at all. Then I go for a walk and get a coffee. And if it's a writing day, I come back and I write. But I have to time box it up until now because of all the festival prep. And then I do some other admin and then come back to writing in the afternoon. If it's a counselling day, exercise, and then go to work because I have to, because on a client day, I don't have any time to write. And by the time I come home, there's no way I'm going to do it. That's it. It sounds really dull, doesn't it? But that's
No, and I think you have to know, like, because my job is not emotionally draining. So I find it really easy to write after work, but I still need that distance. So that's why the admin I do immediately after work, because it kind of feels like it's not a creative thing.
Yeah.
And
well, I find like on Tuesday, especially, like my admin gets very, like it's very going back and forth. Like I'll have book admin, then I'll have counseling admin, and book admin. Yeah, podcasts. Like, yeah, it's Tuesday's very much a blended day of both.
And there's a lot of admin. There's a lot of book admin stuff that I completely underestimated, I think, post-publication. So,
Yeah.
What about you, Tina?
I kind of have a couple of different days like you, Tash. So as we all know, I get up early and I write for about an hour or so first thing in the morning. That's when my brain is fresh.
Let's remind everyone.
It's 4:30 in the morning. So I normally write till about it's meant to be 5:30, but I always push it to like 5:45, and I like the very last second. And so then I stop and I exercise as well. And then by that time the kids are getting up, because I'm pretty guaranteed to get that time with no kids. So I figure I can exercise when the kids are awake, but I can't write while they're awake. So I have to prioritize do that. And then if it's a work day, so I work 3 days a week, in the office about 2 days a week, so then it's just work. And then after work is kids and family and stuff, and then that's it for the day. So I can't, that's all the writing time that I get in the morning.
Do you get that 1 hour of that beautiful sort of uninterrupted time? When do you fit in your admin?
Yeah, that's a good question. In the car on the way to work.
Yeah, you do.
a little bit of that. No, I would never. Yeah, honest, I don't know. checking my emails at dinner on my phone, or but I do have, and so if there's anything pressing, that will, like the admin, whatever I'm asked to do, that's admin will take over from the writing in the morning. But as long as it's writing aligned, I am okay with doing it. So if my publishers ask something from me, then 100% I'd have to do that. But then I have, so sort of 2 days of no work where it's writing. It's 100% writing. Like, I don't do anything else, which is very hard. It's very hard when you come home and you like have this house that needs to be cleaned and this stuff that needs to be done. But like, I just say to my husband, I'm not taking this day off and not working and earning money so I can stay home and clean the house. Like,
Yes.
it's important. Like, writing, I have to get the writing done. Otherwise, I might as well go to work. Like, either way, the house doesn't get clean. But yeah, so that's just super important. And then the weekends, like, it's pretty much just, try and creep in. I might get up at 5. Got up at 5 this morning.
A whole half hour
sleep in, and again, try and get in an hour, and then exercise and family stuff for the whole day. So it's it's a little bit different on the days, but as long as I can get that writing in the morning, I feel like I've done. I get really grumpy if I don't get it in. I feel really ripped off for whatever reason. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? But
No, it's good, I think, that you've got that structure and routine, but it's also, it's a lot as well, Tina. Like, it's the sleep and everything. Like, we're recording this at the moment, 9 p.m. our time on a Sunday, because literally this is the only time the three of us could find, and I guess that shows the time management, isn't it? Like, trying to align our calendars, because all of us have our own different priorities. And I really like the way that you said that you're like, there are things in the house that need to be done or should be done, but you are putting writing first. And I think it helps when you've got like a contract or being a published author, to be able to say that. But even if before you're published, if you're an emerging writer, you also, I know it's hard, but you should try and protect that time.
It's about valuing it for yourself.
Without
anyone else placing a value on it. Like, you can do that.
Like, sometimes I look at the bed, I'm like, I need to make the bed, but I'm like, but if I do that, then I'm going to start putting away clothes, and then I'm going to start
it never ends.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to get my writing done, and then I'll feel better.
And when I feel really bad about it, like at the moment, I'm looking at my really dusty skirting boards, and I'm like, they really need to clean. And I just think to myself, like, so if it's on a particular day, and I think, well, I could be cleaning the skirting boards, which in 10, 15 years' time, no one's going to know if on this particular day of my life I had clean skirting boards or not. But if I write for an hour instead, that actually in 10, 15 years' time could make all the difference, like could actually change my life, or, that to me is more valuable. I'll always have those words, but no one's going to care about my clean skirting boards. Insightful and deep wisdom.
And it's almost like just forgiving yourself for, like, because there's going to be guilt in whatever you decide, but I think, well, at least there was for me maybe a year ago, but I feel like I've much better now at putting boundaries around the writing time. And I think I can sort of say to my friends, if I haven't, like, one very dear friend I have not seen in 5 months. She had a little boy at the same time when The Butterfly Women was published, and I saw a photo she posted up, a 6-month photo, and I was like, I have not seen her, that means in 5 months, because I saw her a month after. But I messaged her, I was like, I feel so bad, like, we live on the other side of the city, like it's a little bit difficult. But I said, I'm so sorry. She's like, no, you've also given birth to something this year. And I think friends forgive, and you have to remind yourself of that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Also just on that note, Tina, about your skirting boards, buy a robot cleaner, because that's what AI should be for, to clean while you write, not for them to write while you clean, right?
I have a robot vacuum and mop, which is amazing. It doesn't do the skirting boards. That's what everybody needs to do. They need to do this. Get one that does skirting boards and goes upstairs, and then my life would just be
Could you
complete.
pay one of the boys? Like, just give them pocket money to do skirting boards. Like, just get the
I
slave
just
labor.
don't think they would. I just don't think they would. Then they don't care.
What's the going rate these days for kids' chores?
Oh, if you can get them to do them, I give them a dollar for however old they are. So it goes up a dollar every year. But I haven't paid, like I off every week, but they don't want to do it. I don't care.
Maybe I'll come round. I can make quite a lot of money for every dollar
Yeah.
for the year. Oh, okay. Maybe we should, on that note.
We're getting tired now.
Yes. Thank you both. Any last tips before we wrap up?
Pitch festivals.
Pitch festivals. Yes.
Go to festivals and pitch festivals.
Take a
Excellent.
break.
Yep.
Sit in bed if you can. It's hard when you've got kids, I know, but if anything you can do just to switch off, even if it's just for half an hour.
Yep. And practice, even if it's for presentations, whatever it's for,
Yeah.
practice.
Mhm.
Good,
Even
good
if it feels
tips.
silly, just get up and do it. Do it in
Just
the
get up.
mirror, do it in the
Exactly.
car. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
Thank you. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Book Deal podcast. We're able to bring you these weekly writerly chats because of our amazing patrons. Join the TPD family by becoming a member of our Patreon community at patreon.com/the Book Deal podcast. And if you love the pod, please give us a rating or review. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook.